Hello, everyone. My name is David Park. I lead our applied AI engineering team here at Landing AI. And today's talk is titled Impact of Agentic AI in Financial Services on Multimodal Document Extraction. We're very excited to share our latest product called Agentic Document Extraction, which is a developer-first, enterprise-grade platform already trusted by some of the largest organizations in the world. After introducing the company, I'll give you a walkthrough of our platform, specifically the building blocks that power ADE and the core technical differentiators around it. And before jumping into the demo, I'll give grounded discussion with a real-world case study that we've done with one of the major financial institutions that we're working with, and that will help set the stage for what you're about to see across our platform demo and the notebook-based end-to-end workflow. From there, I'll actually hand over to Emily, who helps lead our Builders program, which she will get into a little bit further, and our strategic partnerships, and she'll share more about that after the demo. I think we also have a recent Builder success story that we'd like to share with you as well. Quick introduction to Landing AI. We were actually founded by Dr. Andrew Ng, who needs no introduction. He currently serves as our executive chairman, and he leads our R&D efforts. And it's always inspiring as an ML engineer to get his direct input on our product direction. And of course, he brings incredible wealth of knowledge, experience, and industry insights. As a company, we've now helped process over 1 billion images and documents, and that number is growing exponentially every day. We're very fortunate to work with exceptional developers like all of you here, as well as some of the world's leading organizations that we currently work with, especially in financial services, which is the focus of the talk today. With respect to the building blocks, let's start with our foundation layer. This is the bedrock of agentic document extraction, or ADE. Our state-of-the-art foundation models are document pre-trained transformers, are purpose-built for complex documents. Their layouts, understanding the mixed content like tables, figures, complex tables, charts, and true multimodality. And these aren't just generic vision models. They're trained specifically for the unique challenges of document processing today and unstructured data like Excel, PowerPoint, which is some of the latest features that we've added onto the platform. This helps us give us exceptional accuracy before any higher level reasoning or agentic logic is applied. And our models are, again, backed by years of R&D in visual AI and computer vision. So we're not just talking about theory, it's production proven with some of the largest organizations in the world. So we've combined our deep vision knowledge with data-centric approach, which I'm sure you've heard from Andrew quite a few times. So the system continually improves as it processes more and more data, and we get exposed to various data sources. Then there is the parsing layer. So once we establish both the visual foundation and the semantic understanding, ADE parses the document with high precision into machine-readable format like JSON and Markdown. And this isn't just text recognition. It's layout-aware parsing that preserves structure and relationships within the document across multiple documents as well. This is where ADE really starts to really think. We've pioneered the agentic reasoning in visual AI, which means that the system applies logic, context, and even problem solving to parse content. And this is how we process not just plain text, but also complex tables and some of the other modalities that are visually rich. Last but not least, we have the agents and apps layer. So at the top, we focus on customer facing capabilities, and that's where my team comes in. We combine our parsing and reasoning engines with specialized agents, tools, and applications like field extraction, document classification, and splitting, which helps with downstream tasks that are custom to each individual customer, vertical, and disciplines. So our customers are building on top of ADE. It's going into their core products, core processes, so we can help automate certain workflows. And finally, we deliver speed and adaptability. The strong foundation and agentic architecture mean we can iterate a lot faster, develop faster, so our customer can be agile and adapt to changing compliance requirements, market conditions, and operational needs or overhead without 3-6 month development cycle. In terms of our core differentiators, first is the foundation that starts with deep computer vision expertise. So we don't just process plain text, and hopefully the demo will illustrate that a little bit better. We understand the spatial layouts of the documents, which means that we know exactly where the content lives on the page and how different elements are related to each other. Our document native visual models are purpose-built for tasks, not just generic vision systems. So they deliver, again, high precision localization, which some of the LLMs or some of the state-of-the-art models really struggle with. And that's why we're able to accurately identify fields, tables, figures, and really high complex or noisy data. And we are not just, again, research prototype. We've already put our solution to the test in production environments. Our orchestrated multimodal intelligence blends vision, text, and structured data processing in a coordinated pipeline, which enables the system to handle documents with mixed content type. And our semantic visual reasoning goes beyond extraction, understanding meaning, relationships, and context, essential for regulatory and high-stake use cases. And of course, data accuracy starts with the right data. We use high-fidelity, domain-specific data sets tuned for industries like financial services, healthcare, life sciences, legal, and much more. And we put in place continuous feedback loop to be able to get smarter with every deployment, incorporating customer feedback directly into our product, and of course, new document patterns that we haven't seen before. And our schema and format-aware data pipelines maintain structure and consistency, ensuring outputs are ready for downstream systems without any additional post-processing or cleanup. And because we are enterprise-first platform and developer-first as well, we built in enterprise IT standards as a core DNA of our platform. We offer flexible deployment options. We can be multi-single-tenant SaaS, virtual private link if you're familiar with that. We could also deploy on-premise, either in virtual private cloud environment or on your bare metal if need be. In terms of compliance, we're HIPAA and GDPR compliant, and we offer zero data retention, and we have a stateless architecture, so there's no data persistence throughout the process, and it's ephemeral as we are processing your document and giving you the necessary output that you need. So one example that really illustrates ADE's impact is our work with KYC operations with one of the major financial institutions. They have more than thousands of analysts across the globe dedicated to KYC or Know Your Customer reviews, which is a massively manual and document-heavy process. And by integrating ADE directly into their workflow and piping the results into their existing RPA system, we were able to automate the extraction and validation of key fields across bank statements, corporate governance documents, regulatory documents, and other supporting materials that go into this arduous process. And the result was more than 70% in reduction of manual document review, which was a significant value add to the company, while also reducing operational risk and exposure to regulatory fines, which, as many of you know, could be significant in this space. And based on the initial success of the rollout, the bank is now expanding across adjacent areas like customer identification programs. So identifying potential wealth management clients or consumer clients that they may work with, enhanced due diligence for trickier customers that are in specific situations, and ongoing periodic refreshes, so maintaining the relationship amongst between the bank and their customers. And this is where Agentic AI becomes truly transformative once the parsing and the validation pipelines are in place. Scaling into adjacent compliance workflows become frictionless. So before we jump into the demo, let me set the stage with a very, very real scenario. A loan officer can receive a combined loan packet, which can include things like pay stubs, W-2s, bank statements, IDs, and more in a single PDF. So today, an analyst might have an OCR or may leverage some open source tools to potentially automate this, but it's not 100% traceable or accurate. So it is still a quite manual process today. So they have to sift through all of the manual and find the right section, extract dozens of fields, and then key everything into downstream systems. It's very slow, of course, error-prone as we are as humans, and hard to audit, which is one of the biggest problems. So with agentic document extraction, the entire workflow can be automated. ADE takes the packet as is, so there's no pre-processing of any kind. So we'll first help you classify the documents and split them based on the content of the actual document with, of course, semantic understanding and context. And once we've done that, we can apply schema-driven extraction based on the document type. So pulling only the fields that matter for specific documents. So pay stubs, they can go through the income schema. Bank statements go through the deposit schema. IDs can go through the identification schema. So we only pull out the information that you need. So what this means is that we are extracting the right information from the right document at the right time with layout grounding, so giving you the full traceability and auditability, tying the source back to the original document, which is essential for compliance and other regulatory requirements. So from there, agentic workflows can automatically validate income, check document completeness. So was it still signed, not signed? Were there any amendments? We can pick out those nuanced handwritten notes or other complex items that you might see on these documents. So we can pass it to a loan origination system or other structured databases, or even RPA that analysts interact with every day. Okay, so the end result hopefully is clear. A messy loan packet comes in, and we fully structurize it, validate it, and auditable data comes out of agentic document extraction. So again, enabling that true agentic loan approval automation process. So with that said, I will jump into the demo. So sorry, but this screen is not showing my desktop anymore. You know what? I think I can do it like this. So if we're looking at a investment document or account statement from Fidelity, clearly this person is doing a lot better than I am. But you can see your portfolio value. You have different modalities like complex tables, charts. We even have a chunk type for logos. And we can kind of customize how you want to extract information. So if we're looking at this portfolio value, you can see that we were able to perfectly render the table. This is a relatively simple table, but I can show you a more complex information after. So things like indentation, that means that there is a parent-child relationship. A lot of times LLMs and OCR-based tools really struggle with this because they're not good at localization, whereas we understand the out-of-the-box inherently. Perfect. And let's say you're looking at a ADE pay stub, again, in a very, very good financial situation for this particular person. Even if your table, it doesn't have clear lines or boundaries, that's okay. We will be able to understand it, structurize it, and render it perfectly either, again, as a markdown or JSON. So if you're processing billions of documents, what a lot of our customers are doing is they vectorize it, store in a vector database like ChromaDB, and you can build a RAG pipeline on top of it for any kind of complex retrieval type of applications. So your analysts can interact with these documents in a natural language fashion. And let me just quickly show you what the JSON looks like. So for each chunk, we'll give you the chunk ID, the type, other metadata like page number, and what we call visual grounding, so where it's physically located within that document. And for tables, we'll show this in the notebook later. We can give you a cell level reference to say, hey, this is where we got the information from, so you have the confidence that the LLM is not hallucinating or we're not incorrect with our extraction process. Okay. Before I move on, there are two fundamental APIs I did not review. First is the parse. So we're parsing everything we see on the document, and we render it into a markdown or a JSON. Second is the field extraction API. So this is the schema-driven extraction. You can add a little bit of description, and it generalizes quite well. So even if you say first name or name, last name, we'll be able to understand that those are either same or different and extract the information correctly. And you can also build parent-child relationships if you need to preserve that during the extraction process. Okay. And there are a couple of different ways you can create the schema. First is a smart suggestion. We will provide a suggestion based on the actual content of the document. And you can use that as a starting point, in which case it will create a Pydantic base model with description, field name, and field type. So you can adjust that as needed. Or you can prompt a schema, which means you can use natural language to generate the schema and say, hey, I need first name, account balance, et cetera, and we'll automatically generate that for you. And once you have that schema, you can pass it into our extraction API, and we will extract information. And let me quickly show you an example of that. So this is the field name, field type, and the description. You can kind of think of this as prompt engineering for each field. You provide a very short description or long description if you want. We have a lot of banks saying, hey, we use specific acronyms that mean certain things. You can actually pass that in directly, or we even have customers that are training their own name entity recognition model based on the extracted information. So any downstream application, whether it's ML workloads or process automation, we can help with that. We also have a chatbot on the platform. This is what we call a playground environment. It's not, you can use it as a production system, but it's just to give you a visual experience of what we're doing. Once we have the parsed information and extracted information, you can actually chat with the document in a seamless manner. This just to kind of show you the art of the possible and what some of the other customers are doing with LLMs they have available today. So if I look at, hey, where is this period coming from? As you can see, we're giving you very granular localization and cell level reference, saying, hey, this is where we got the information from, which is, again, is highly crucial for financial services. Okay, with that said, can jump into our notebook demo. So this is the hypothetical scenario that I just outlined on loan processing. So you get a very messy loan packet with all the various supporting documents that you might need to approve a loan. So the end-to-end process will look something like, first we'll parse the document, and based on the parsed information, we can classify each and every page. And using that information, you can split them automatically. And using a extraction schema specific to the documents that we're expecting, we can extract the information that you need, so you don't have to read through the entire markdown or the document. And once you have that, we can visualize the result using some of the utility tools that we provide as part of our Python library and TypeScript library. So after you go through some of the installs, you can import our library, and this is all publicly available on our GitHub repo. So if you have any questions, please come talk to us at our booth. And once you've done that, you can instantiate our client object. And once that is done, you can actually just visualize the document using some of the open source libraries that you have access to. So you can see the pay stub, the same documents that we looked over, bank statements, and of course the investment portfolio. And it's a 30-page document here, as you can see here. And once that is done, I can tell, hey, I'm expecting three specific documents, and they are pay stub, bank statement, and investment statement. So you can tell the model exactly what you're looking for. So that could be another layer of validation. So if you don't have that particular document, you can give real-time feedback to your customer. And if you do, you can do other type of automation on top of that. Now I'm defining specific schemas. So for the pay stub, I want the employee name, the pay period, gross pay, and net pay. And for bank statement and investment statements, these are the fields that I need for automating the loan approval. So I can define my schema. And once I do that, I can map the schema to the appropriate document types that I'm expecting that I've just created earlier. And once that is done, I can actually go through the parsing process. I'm using cache information because I wasn't sure how reliable the internet would be. But as you can see, we're classifying each and every page. We're saying, hey, the first page is the pay stub. Second page is bank statement, and the rest is investment statement. So using that information, now I can split the document automatically using our APIs. And once that is done, we'll give you a summary. We can give you a summary and say, hey, here's a pay stub, here's a bank statement, and you can even create your own documents off of that. And once you have the schemas applied directly, once you have the documents separated, now you can apply those correct schemas. So for pay stub, I need employee name, pay period, gross pay, and net pay. And as you can see on the data section at the bottom, we were able to extract those information from those corresponding documents. And once that is done, I can also visualize it using some of our utility functions that I shared with you. And they will look something like this. So this is how the document is being understood by our foundation model or document pre-trained transfer model. And you can see how granular we get, especially for some of the more complex tables, which is why we were able to give you that full traceability. Okay. And once it's done, it's a little noisy, right? So what a lot of our customers are doing, hey, I just want the field that I need, the visual grounding information, and just highlight the cell that I care about or the chunk that I care about. And if that's the case, you can create something like this, a visualization extraction, where you can get the extracted field, the crop chunk, which is the image version of what we've extracted or where we extracted that information from. And on the right side, we visualize just the chunk that the customer cares about, which is really critical for analysts that are looking at these pages and pages every single day and going through the manual process. So that's it in terms of the demo. So I'll actually hand it over to Emily. But before I do that, we do have a deep learning course coming out early next year. So please, please take the course if you have some time. Give us feedback. We would love to hear from everyone here. And yeah, thank you for your time.
So I'll just go ahead and mention it, but we have built something for our developer community at Landing AI called our Builder Program. So when we first put ADE out there, we expected people to use it for pretty standard document workflows, but when people started showing us the things that they were doing, automating some of the messiest processes in a handful of hours, we decided we really needed to lean into the community. So we built this builder program to help our builders move fast. So we're here to help you. If you want early access, if you want real support, we're ready to support you. So as a builder, we'll support you with onboarding. We have an open line for some communication and support. And then as you get going and you're ramping, we'll support you through your launch prep and happy to spotlight you as you are launching your product. So I will wrap up and be quick. And yeah, I'll turn it back over to David to answer questions.
Thank you. That was a real great presentation. My question is, when you have a new customer, let's say with a new document type, what does your process look like? And especially I'm interested in the evaluation framework. Make sure that the classification and extraction for the new document type is done right.
Yeah, great question. So that's where our foundation model, document pre-trained transfer model does all the heavy lifting. We are a zero-shot tool, which means there's no templatizing or fine-tuning needed of any kind. No matter how the document is structured, even if we've never seen it before, most likely we'll be able to extract information accurately. But if not, there are some pre or post-processing steps that we can help you with to get to that accuracy. And if this is something really important to you, we'll get you connected with our product team to make sure that we cover all the bases there.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
A little technical. What is your validation approach on the accuracy for your document extraction?
Yeah, great question. So we've done a lot of benchmark tests. We actually released one, I think, this week. If you're familiar with DocVQA, it's an open source data set with very complex documents that are industry standards, but they're not quite enterprise adjacent, but we've still wanted to do that test. I think the latest state-of-the-art models, VLMs, OCRs, and deep learning-based OCR models are hovering around anywhere between low to mid 90s, and our solution was at, I believe, over 99% accurate. So there is a bit of a gap there compared to even the latest language models. And in terms of validation, we have a highly curated data set that we use to train the model and then validate using a regression data set. So we're constantly testing different architectures and comparing our solutions to make sure that we're more accurate. Thank you.
We can do one more question.
Thank you. Does the landing AI have the built-in capability to trigger the follow-up actions, or it would be through some kind of external connectors? For example, in the loan example, if we wanted to, say, issue the loan or do some filing or noticing the customer, what would be the next steps to build there?
Yeah, great question. All great questions. So our current focus is extraction today because that is the hardest part about document processing today. So for automating downstream application, we typically rely on our customers to do that because we don't have the industry expertise. But we do partner with RPAs providers, hyperscalers like AWS, Snowflake, Azure, and other applications that are enterprise grade to be able to support those workloads. And we integrate with Lambda functions, event-driven architecture, so we can help automate certain processes.